All right, we're going to look at an example that will use the hypotenuse-leg theorem that we just learned about. We've got Ashton here. Ashton is washing windows using a 10-foot ladder. For the first window, the ladder reaches the window when he places the base of the ladder at the rose bush. So in this picture, here's the rose bush, here's his 10-foot ladder, and so the ladder reaches the window. Great, okay. How can he determine where to place the ladder to be sure it reaches the last window? So over here, he wants to place the ladder similarly so that it reaches the window. So we can see that there is a right triangle formed with the side of the house and the ground. Those are perpendicular, giving us a right angle. And then the ladder is closing that off to give us a right triangle. I'm going to go ahead and redraw that right triangle just so we can work with it. The ladder is 10 feet, so that's the ladder feet. We know this is 10, and that's all we know. Let's go ahead and label this, I don't know, A, B, C. So what's happening is Ashton wants to place the ladder somewhere so that he's guaranteeing that it will reach the second window. So we want a second right triangle. And if it's congruent to this right triangle that we have, then we know that he'll have placed it so it reaches the window. So the hypotenuse is 10 feet. It would be another right triangle. Maybe we'll call this one D, E, F. So what we have is Ashton placed the ladder some distance away from the house. We don't know what this is. But when he moves the ladder, if he places it the same distance away from the house, so I want those two lengths to be, or those two sides of these triangles to be congruent. Now, if we look at our two right triangles, we have a congruent hypotenuse, and we have a congruent leg, and we have two right triangles. So these triangles will be congruent by the HL postulate. So right now, let's see, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF by the hypotenuse-leg postulate. So now that we have congruent triangles, and again, we had to make sure that whatever distance he placed the base of the ladder away from the house, he had to place it the same distance away. Then he sets the ladder against the house, sets the ladder against the house. So will he reach the window, which is the same height? Well, because our triangles are congruent, now I know that BC will be congruent to EF by CPCTC. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So I know that where our window sits up here, if he's reaching the window with this triangle, he will reach the window with that triangle.